Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. Goldie Roger, the Pirate King, said he would leave it to the new generation to achieve what he could not, believing that his son would be the one to claim his treasure and the secrets of the world. Whitebeard also believed this, but in a battle that cost Ace's life, Rayleigh refused to fight, and today's video will reveal the reason why. Before I reveal all this to you, I count on your support to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I also hope I can help you achieve your dream of learning to draw your favorite anime and manga characters, doing whatever you want in the way you imagined, something that becomes easy when you have access to the incredible course, Anime Express, by teacher Noah Williams, which costs less than $1 a day. So check the link in the description to learn in just a few weeks. Now, let's get to the video. Guys, we know that the Battle of Marineford was the biggest battle in the entire history of One Piece, only rivaled by the recent confrontation in Wano, where great powers united for a major clash, a clash won by the new generation. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, the new generation wasn't as strong as they are now, and the presence of Luffy, his brother, wasn't enough to save Ace's life in the Battle of Giants, where a Yonko crew faced the full force of the Marines. At that time, there was nothing Luffy could do, which is actually the reason he became as strong as he did, to never lose anyone he loves again. However, other people with an absurd level of power moved toward Marineford. The Yonko Kaido and Shanks tried to join the confrontation, with Shanks arriving late to prevent Kaido from participating and making things worse. However, a person of equal renown and power similar to that of a Yonko did not join the confrontation. I'm obviously talking about Silver's Rayleigh. Rayleigh was Goldie Roger's best friend when the Pirate King was still alive, and even so, he did not move to the battle where Ace's life was at risk, even with the news about his capture, even being closer than other pirates who moved to that location, even though Rayleigh's power would have made a big difference in that clash, possibly even changing the outcome of the Battle of Marineford. This created a big question. Why did Rayleigh ignore that confrontation? Why didn't he help Ace? And we have some answers for that. The first is the simplest and perhaps the most accepted. We would have to believe that Rayleigh had no idea that his former best friend had a son. After all, Roger cut all contact with his crew members after arriving at Laugh-Tale, retiring to an island in the South Blue where he met Porcus D. Rouge. This happened about 24 years ago, before the current time, on an island called Batarila. There, Goldie Roger, the Pirate King, was seen acting differently. People believed that this man was now acting less like a pirate and was actually behaving more like a father, or a future father. This led the Marines to consider the possibility of the Pirate King's potential child, prompting them to investigate every newborn in the area. The Marines scoured Batarila, observing all pregnant women, under orders to kill all suspects. Ace's mother, Porcus D. Rouge, managed to avoid the Marines' investigation by keeping Ace in her womb for 20 months. The tension caused by this feat led to her death shortly after giving birth to her son, and Ace, as his mother named him at birth, came into the world a year and 3 months after his father's execution in Logetown. Therefore, only Garp, who was asked by Roger to take care of his son after his death, would know about Ace's existence, and this was only revealed to the world by Sengoku during the Battle of Marineford. That's why Rayleigh didn't know Roger had a son. But how did Marines like Akainu obtain this information before the announcement, and not Rayleigh? Additionally, what about the sun god Nika fruit? Today, we can imagine, or rather speculate, that Shanks took the fruit to the East Blue precisely so that the sun god and the fruit could meet Ace, who anyone would believe was the one chosen to be Joy Boy. Even Goldie Roger believed his son would inherit his legacy and achieve what he couldn't. However, even before Shanks could imagine the existence of the Columbo Mountain, Luffy had already eaten the fruit that turned his body into rubber. We can recall that Shanks was initially shocked and frightened by this, but soon accepted it, even seeing Roger's actions in Luffy. After that, Shanks left Fuchsia Village and went straight to Sabaody, where Rayleigh was waiting for Luffy, the boy Shanks had mentioned, the boy who made Shanks see Roger and who would inherit the Pirate King's legacy. Luffy was indeed the boy Roger was waiting for. Among all the islands in the East Blue, was it a coincidence that Shanks went to Fuchsia Island? It's possible he was searching for Ace and just didn't find him because the fruit's destiny didn't allow it, and because Garp, in an attempt to hide Roger's son from the Marines, also hid him from the former crewmates of the Pirate King. In the end, Shanks didn't continue his search. He saved Luffy, and then left the island never to return, leaving Roger's legacy with a straw hat. So, if Shanks knew about Ace, why wouldn't Silver's Rayleigh know? And if Shanks talked to Rayleigh about Luffy, why didn't he mention why he was on that island? Even if he didn't know, he saw that Luffy was risking his life there but didn't go to help. And he also saw that besides having the man Roger was waiting for risking his life, he would have discovered that Ace was Roger's son. Yet, he didn't move, even though he was close to the location, knowing that crossing the ocean by swimming was nothing for him. So why didn't he go to that place? Hope that everything would resolve itself without his help? Why risk it that way? Rayleigh didn't want to save Ace. He didn't wish for the death of the Pirate King's son, but he knew that the outcome of that battle could influence the fate of the next Joy Boy, possibly even have his awakening at that moment. After all, it is said that such an awakening hadn't happened for many years. Perhaps even the last one to awaken was Joy Boy himself. And since the awakening happens amidst a great tragedy, as we saw in Wano, Rayleigh possibly bet on Luffy and the return of Joy Boy, Shanks seemed to expect the same thing, which is why he might have stopped Kaido and gone directly to Marineford. It's worth noting that every time Shanks approached Luffy after he ate the Hito Hito no Mi, it was during moments of tragedy, times when Luffy almost lost his life. And we must not forget that after that confrontation ended, when Luffy survived but did not achieve the awakening, it was Rayleigh who went to him, swimming across the sea, offering his time to Luffy, asking to train the Straw Hat Pirate and teach him to master his true power and potential. Or rather, there's a strong possibility that Rayleigh and Shanks noticed that Luffy wasn't strong enough yet to awaken the Sun God's power. This might even be linked to his haki. After all, we discovered that Joy Boy had an extremely powerful Conqueror's haki, and Luffy, even possessing King's haki, didn't know how to use his powers, not even the most basic ones. This leads us to imagine that Luffy was really trained by Rayleigh because of the events of Marineford, but not for the reasons he thought. Not just because his brother lost his life and he needed to strengthen himself to avoid losing anyone else he loves. The real reason might have been that Rayleigh and Shanks expected that battle to be marked by fate, and Rayleigh believed that not intervening was the best thing he could do. After all, if we recall, when he spoke with Robin, he said that it would be best for her to discover the history of the world on her own, and thus, she could take an approach to the discovery different from what he and his captain, Gol D. Roger, would have taken when they reached the last island. She could have a different interpretation. Rayleigh then decided not to interfere with the new generation's actions, and let them find their own path, choosing the battles they would fight and suffering the consequences, while he would wait for Luffy, the arrival of the Sun God. This would not only explain Rayleigh's actions, but also give us a new perspective on Shanks' disappearance. After all, only the two of them know the secrets of the new world. What do you think about this? Do you think this is the reason Rayleigh abandoned Ace at Marineford? Comment. That's a wrap for today's content. We hope you enjoyed it and want to share your thoughts on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and catch you in the next video. Take care and stay awesome.